everyone. This is Christine Ellis with you today on HSVN, and I am on the Haunted Show. We know that the Holy Spirit always anointing us to enter the divine in this season. But there is a thing about being a light. And today I'm sitting down with someone that her name means light, the light that is before God. And so in that light, we are going to be talking about how from your adversity you can come into triumph, and how when life dealt you some things that you are not able to cope with, you can turn that into a positive, and then that positive can actually radiate your light throughout the whole world. And this whole world, are you watching me? You are watching me right now, because 50 million of you are watching in 187 different countries. But today, we are going to bring it right here in this little studio, because I have an exceptional young lady with me. Her name is Diya. Again, it means light. And she's only 14 years old, but that didn't stop her from creating a way out of adversity. Welcome to our studio today. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
Oh my God, look at the smile. The smile already tells you that she is the light. Beautiful light. You wrote a book, but before we talk about your book that you write, I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you go to school? Who your mom and dad are? Where do you live? Talk to me a little bit.
Okay, sure. So, hi, my name is Diya Nath. I am 14 years old.
Yes.
I'm a sophomore at Arizona College Preparatory,
yes,
Erie campus.
Okay, that's wonderful.
And
so, which city is that?
It's actually like a few minutes from here.
Okay, so it's not too far. So are you school in Mesa or Chandler or Gilbert?
Chandler.
Chandler, so you live in Chandler.
Yeah.
Chandler, Arizona. This is where we're talking about here. Some great people coming out of Chandler, right? This 14-year-old. So your mom and dad, you live with your mom and your dad, and who else?
I also have one younger brother.
Oh.
He's very, very mischievous. He's actually a very good hacker.
He's a very good hacker.
He can bypass my parents' firewalls and restrictions.
So he's a smart little boy, isn't he? So we're going to have to channel that smartness into the right way so he doesn't give you too much trouble, right? Okay, I am so excited that you're here with me today. And to know that at 14, that you can think about helping a whole wide world. Talk to me a little bit about what did the doctor say? And when the doctor said that, what is it that really started to happen in your mind? When the doctor says, okay, you are sick, you have something that it's hurting you, you have something that's going to be with you probably for the rest of your life. And what were you thinking about when he says that?
I was kind of devastated, because I was like, I would think, how am I going to get through this? How will I live my life? Like, how will I live my life now, like the way I used to? And things will definitely change, and I don't think I'm ready for that change.
Yes.
And when I was 10, it says in my book that I had a BMI of 40, and that was considered obese, like in the obese category.
Yeah. And
I would try diets and exercise plans that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And I was also in love with cooking from a very young age.
Just like my daughter, she started cooking since she was 9 years old. Yeah, that's wonderful.
So I started watching different smoothie recipes. I started falling in love with watching those videos. Sure. They would give tiny tips of these fruits have like these benefits, and this is like why you want to include this into your smoothie.
Yes.
And I started talking about those, and I started to make my own smoothies.
You started making your own smoothie, not your mom, but you.
Yeah.
So you started doing your own thing. Yes. That's good. That's
good. And those actually helped me bring my BMI down.
So for those, I'm a nurse, You know, for those of you who don't understand what BMI is something that's related to your weight and body fat and all those kinds of things. So they usually try to measure your BMI in the width of your arm or different part of your body like that to see what it is. So what BMI does, it can tell whether you are processing glucose in your body properly, which might relate to people being diabetes and those kinds of things. So you will kind of, with a BMI of 41, which put her in a position where you might end up having diabetes, right?
Yes.
So you were thinking, how am I going to live like this? Because I know you like to eat your fast food, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
So that was one of your favorite things. You're thinking, how am I going to be able to eat my fast food and do all those different things that I wanted to do? But then you start thinking, what am I going to do? What did you do then at the time?
So after all this didn't work, obviously I started to believe that maybe my BMI would never come up. And then that's one big factor that probably like stopped my BMI from going down. Believing that it will never happen.
There we go. So that's an important word. When someone says that whatever you believe in will come to pass, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And having a name that means light, I know you didn't want to stay there, right? Because you were thinking that if I'm believing it's never going to go up, and then you start seeing it the same way because you believe in that. And then you had to do what? You had to change your mindset.
Exactly.
Okay, tell me about that.
So I attended this meeting. It was called like the Happiness Council. This man said, if you my quality of life will never change if I don't change my mind or change my thoughts or manage my mind, because my mind follows me wherever I go.
Wow, this is so wonderful. Now think about that. A 14-year-old went to this class, and he heard a man says that you have to change your mind because your mind follows you wherever you go, and your thoughts are in your mind. And you hear me say that all the time into this show, how our thoughts are so important. You know, what we think and what we say is very, very powerful, because if you want to see something come to pass, you can just speak it and you will say it come to pass, right? So what did you do when you heard that man said that after?
I really was moved. I was moved. One of my teachers also said, I still remember, he said, you have to change your life. You have to take action. You have to take control of your life.
Wow, so that's powerful. So from your thought now, instead of just saying, what, how, why, so you're saying how. So I have to take an action. I have to do something and put whatever that I'm thinking into action. So then you put 2 and 2 together, right? What did you get? Oh, you put 2 and 2 together, and then you end up with a book. So you thought about it. You thought that you couldn't do it, but then you changed your mind that you can, and so now you started action. From action point of view, what did you do?
I started to, so number one, believe that I can do it, and then I started to develop a more entitled mindset, more like I can do this, I am good enough, like that type of entitlement. And
no, it was not about entitlement, like somebody has to do it for me.
No.
Somebody has to give me this. But you started to think about yourself. I can do this. I love it.
And positivity.
Yes.
Never think negative, because if you keep thinking negative but want to be happy, then you'll never be happy if you think sad.
Did you hear that? This girl is preaching right now. She says that you need to really hear this, because we're still talking about from adversity to triumph, and those are the path to triumph that you've taken, right, in your life, from your adversity, from having heard the doctor says, hey, I'm borderline diabetes, my BMI is high, I'm not going to, and then you start thinking, I'm never going to get it to the point where I can be healthy, and then you heard this voice, you heard this man say that, then you started changing it around, and now you're thinking that I have to put it to place.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wrote this book, Healthy Habits for a Healthier You,
Yes.
to share my story, to show that it's possible, and also to spread, so like talking about my experiences will also spread like hope for people and for people who want to change their lives, and it inspires them to like help themselves and self-heal and take care of their problems themselves.
That's right. That's right. Listen, guys, this is a 14-year-old. This is a 14-year-old insight that is so deep into thinking that no one can do it for you. You have to do it from wherever you are right now. So you might be sick right now with diabetes, right? Because we're talking about diabetes, or you might be pre-diabetes, or you might be already even thinking about that, oh, they're going to cut my legs, or they're going to do this, they're going to do all those things because I'm so sick. But this 14-year-old is telling you right now that you have a chance at getting better. You have a chance at turning this thing around. You can turn it around, and you can do it right now as we are speaking. So when you wanted to, I know that you are also a scientist, right? You are also a scientist. You did not just think about this thing, thought about it, ponder over it, but you started to go in the lab. And you started to really work on these things, because I know you talk about it a little bit in your book,
Yes.
how you started to do research. Talk to me about a little bit about the research. This is scientifically proven by her. Okay, go ahead.
So, this the small subtitle here says, "Simple, yummy, power-packed homemade smoothies to keep your gut strong and boost energy." And I focus on the gut health because this was sparked. My mom said, "Here's this article on Parkinson's. Read it," and it talked about how people diagnosed with Parkinson's had gut problems, like diarrhea, constipation, nausea, long before they were diagnosed, and that's a common thing in all Parkinson's patients.
Wow.
And
this is deep, guys. Come on, listen. Yes.
And it also talked about the curling of gut bacteria. So it's kind of like proteins. So proteins are folded into a specific structure that determines their function. And if they lose that structure, then they lose their function. And that's kind of what happens to the gut bacteria. And then they curl up into this form, like when a protein loses their function through pH or temperature change, it's called denaturing proteins. For example, when you cook eggs.
Yes, you denature the eggs. Yes, correct.
Yes, so and then they lose their function. So when a bacteria's environment is stressed, they're not able to function at their peak condition anymore. So then they become stressed and they curl up into like a curly form, and then they travel up the vagus nerve and can cause Parkinson's. So I think the health of the gut microbiome, which is a habitat of bacteria, like thousands of millions of species of bacteria that carry out digestive functions to keep your whole body healthy. And so that's why the health of the gut microbiome is so important, and that's why these recipes are for keeping your gut strong and your gut healthy.
So that will help. You hear me talk about all the time, spirit, soul, and body. And I've always talked to you about your spirit, how you need to keep your spirit strong, how you need to elevate it, because that's through which you speak with God into your spirit. And then your soul, that's where your emotion resides. And that's in the place where you need to be also very strong, because if you're going to be mentally healthy, if you're going to have great relationship with different people and things like that, your soul needs to be at peace. Your soul needs to be in a place, in a good place. And so the body part, this is what we are deciphering today. We are going down into your body, and when she said gut, she's talking about really the stomach area, your gut, your intestine, all that region, all those organs down there, that if they are not healthy, this is what's happening to you. My goodness, I am sitting with a top world scientist right here. If she's 14, she can actually go in a lab and find these things. Think about it when she's 18, when she's going to be in her 20s. I am so grateful that you are doing this thing, the whole world, it will be so thankful to you one day for the things that you are studying and understanding. So now we talk about a disease that is very prominent right now, Parkinson. And Parkinson also seems to be related with Alzheimer's dementia. And dementia. My mom had Alzheimer's and dementia. And my daughter also graduated with a neuroscience degree. And she's going to med school. So I understand, having also a medical background, I understand very clearly what you're talking about when you're talking about the correlation between our gut and then the different part of our function, even our brain.
Yeah.
The neural part of our brain is connected to our gut, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
In other words, go
yeah,
ahead.
so the health of your gut impacts everything about your body, and I talk about the benefits of, and I talk about different benefits that come with having a healthy gut. And I remember the article ended with maybe Parkinson's is a gut disease that affects the brain and not a brain disease that affects the gut. Yeah.
So it's the other way around. So we can always see that the way that we were wonderfully made, our body was wonderfully made, right? But because of the things and the stress and the things that we are going on all around us, we end up with these different things. And when we're trying to make sense of them, sometimes we get it wrong, right? We get it wrong, and we get it wrong. Let's talk. I mean, this book is packed with so many different. This is the part where she's talking about the gut, E. coli, and all those different things. It's in the book, okay? She talks about all those things in there. Go ahead.
So that figure, I did 2 years of research on the gut bacteria by testing different medicines on E. coli, and I chose medicines like diabetes and blood pressure medications,
like metformin and those kinds of medications.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my mom, it says that I take metformin because I have acanthosis nigricans.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's like a sign of insulin resistance.
Yes.
So I take metformin for that and for losing weight.
Yeah.
My dad takes metformin. My mom takes, I think, amlodipine. My dad also takes losartan. So
she's talking about medicine like she's a doctor, okay? These medicines, what do they do to our gut bacteria?
Yes. So I wanted to test these different medicines on E. coli, which is a very common strain in the gut, and I chose medicines instead of like something else because a common side effect of medicines is
depleting you of your good bacteria,
or gut issues like diarrhea. I even had diarrhea from taking metformin. Like some other side effects, nausea, vomiting.
Yep.
Like same things that Parkinson's patients are experiencing. So I was curious as to see what these medicines are doing to
the gut flora. Yes.
And it's very important that I choose the K12 strains instead of the pathogenic strains.
Yes.
Yeah, because
yes.
Yeah, K12 means like the original strains or the non-pathogenic, the safe strains that are in your body. All of these in your gut are called K12 strains.
Yes, so those are the natural form, in their natural form, before they get deformed, before they get curled up and all these things by the effect or the side effect of the medications that we are taking. Well, this might seem a bit technical and things, but this is very important information because a lot of time we eat things, we do things, and we don't know what's happening inside of our bodies because we're not watching it. But this is a 14-year-old scientist who went behind the scene and taking these bacteria, you put them under a microscope in order for you to be able, in a petri dish. Okay, go ahead.
So I put them in a petri dish. I sought help. I did this in ASU with some people helped me. I did so petri dish and Laura Bertani broth, which is like it's the ideal nutrient environment that E. coli needs, and then I would add the medications inside.
Okay.
And I would then I would look at them under the microscope.
After a certain period of time. How long
Yeah.
did it take for you to see the difference into the K form and then when they started to deform from that? How long was it?
I don't really want to talk too much, like reveal too
much
much about
about
what I did,
yeah.
everything I did. But it took me like a few days, I think.
So
Yeah.
this is how quick your body can change. This is how quick it can turn around for the wrong and versus the good thing. Yes, that's why it's always tell you there's a side effect to everything that you do. So I am so grateful that you wrote this book. This book really is very empowering. There was so many. You will have to get the book in order for you to know what all the things that are in there. But I'm really recommending that you take, not only that she goes into the scientific part. That's what I like the best. You know, this is not something that she just created out of the blue, or she just woke up one day and said, hey, you know, I just want to write a book. No, she took her time, she studied, she analyzed, she confronted, she checked, double checked her statistic and all those kinds of things, the facts. And every place in this book you go to, she will have like facts. Number one, fact, you see the thing saying that there's a fact. One of the facts that I really does have great things. You can see them, all the little things that give you the tags, that give you all the facts that she has found out in her research. And then you went into smoothies life. You changed from eating every single day, every different kind of thing, and you started doing smoothies for yourself and your family, and you all started to drink those smoothies. Tell me what really started to change when you started drinking those smoothies that you were making, the healthy ones.
Well, definitely an increase in energy, and that's very important.
Very important.
Like you know, when people say, "Oh, you're glowing today," well, not really, but
yeah, you are glowing today.
something like that. But,
yeah.
but definitely an increase in energy, and then from all the fruits and vegetables, you're getting nutrients. You're meeting your body's needs. Vitamins, minerals, and also since this is a liquid, your body doesn't need to do extra breaking down of like the
molecules and the different things from the fruit. That is so cool. So you absorb it faster. And that's why when you take liquid or you take sublingual, you put it under your tongue, your body absorbs it because there are lots of blood in those areas.
And you can add more because it's a liquid. You're drinking it. You can add more fruits and veggies. In one
little
glass.
cup. That's a great idea. That's really powerful to say, because you will not be sitting down and eat 2 bowls of strawberries. But if you squeeze all those 2 bowls of blend them and do a smoothie with strawberries and things, you can actually have a small glass of it because it will be blended and all. I was at 4 o'clock this morning. I was glued into your book because I did glance through, but today I wanted to really kind of get into the nitty-gritty because I knew I was going to talk to you. There's so many great recipes in here, and the colors are absolutely. I love the green that you use. Green is like, you know, life. Green is the color of life. Kale, I love kale, and she teach you how to do the kale smoothies and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, there's some green smoothies.
Lots of green smoothies, and I love the idea. This one is really good. Avocado berry miracle. Okay, so if you need a miracle, avocado berry miracle. That's the one for you. Thank you so much for coming today. I am so excited. We talked about things that are really, really essential right now for your life, which means that anything that happened to you, you can turn it into a triumph. This is very important. I love the idea of our thoughts, you know, it have to be turned into action. So if there's one thing that I would like to leave you with today from my friend that is the light of the world right now, and it's the fact that don't underestimate the power of a child, the power of a child who feels that they have the whole world at their disposition. Don't underestimate the power of the innocence in a child that says that I can help others, I can reach out deep down inside of me, and I can touch someone else. Don't ever underestimate that fact, because I'm sitting right now with a 14-year-old who felt that in her heart the best thing that she could give to this world, it's the adversity that she was going through, she can turn it into a triumph. It is very important that we understand, not only as adults, that sometimes we don't think that we can do anything. We can turn things around. But we have an example right here, that it is important, that it is powerful when you turn. Is there anything you would like to tell the people that are watching out there about your book really quick? Buy it. Yes, we want to tell them that. And then what else?
Well, yeah, but I don't really know much, I don't really know what I need to say. I mean, I've already talked enough about how the way you think and how you believe in things really impact like your life and your quality of life, especially. Like you can, like how I said, you want to be happy, but if you think sad, then you'll never be happy. You have to think happy to be happy.
Yeah.
And also, one thing I used to focus on a lot was, oh, my arm, like I'm this much weight, or like I'm this big and this person is this small. So everybody's body is different, and your health is not defined by your body size or the numbers important. On your by the numbers on the
BMI.
scale.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So don't like if you're eating healthy and you have a healthy lifestyle, you have an active lifestyle, it means you're healthy.
Yes.
Comparing yourself to other people and saying I am not being healthy because I don't look like them. You don't need to do that, because you are different from everybody else. You're beautiful the way you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wisdom. This is such great wisdom. Did you hear that? You are beautiful just the way you are. You were made beautiful. You were created beautiful. And so therefore you are beautiful. And you can continually be beautiful from the inside out. I felt that I needed to whisper that to somebody. Because a lot of times there's so many noise around you saying that you need to look like this, you need to act like that, you need to do it. Just a wisdom from a 14-year-old that tells you that your heart needs to be in the right place when it comes to who you are, your body, and everything else around you. I want to thank you. I want to thank your mom.
So much for having
me.
Your
mom is such a beautiful lady. I just love your mom. She's such a great educator. She's really out there teaching our children. And I want to send love to her, some love to your dad and your brother. Yes. I want to send love to your brother and say, keep being the way you are. Let's keep going and do great things in the world. I just love it. I just love it. And thank you so much for being the light. That's all I can say.
Me.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Please don't forget to get the book, and her information and everything is right here on the screen, and you will not regret getting this, because it's going to make your life easier. Love you all. Mwah.
Bye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
The preceding program was brought to you by the Holy Spirit Broadcasting Network, HSBN Television.